Welcome back to the video lecture Nuclear Magnetic Resonance Part 3. Recapitulations of our previous video. We know that positively charged nuclei are spinning around its own axis, generates a magnetic field and acts as a tiny bar magnet. In presence of an external magnetic field H0, it started to precess and orient themselves aligned and opposed to that field. Now, if we irradiate the precessing nuclei with a radio frequency source, the nuclei aligned with the external magnetic field and absorb the radio frequency source with right frequency and goes to the higher energy level, that is opposed position. Now the nuclei in higher energy state revert back to the lower energy state by releasing energy through T1 or T2, where giving a peak in the NMR spectrum. But if the nuclei are all same, we will get similar peaks for all nuclei. But it is not occurred because of the environment of each nuclei are not same. Each nuclei are surrounded by electrons. These are also charged species and acts as a magnetic field. So, in the applied magnetic field, the valence electrons around the nucleus are caused to circulate and they generate their own secondary magnetic field, is known as induced magnetic field. This circulation of electron around the protons itself generates field in such a way that it opposes the applied field. Is it clear? The field felt by the protons is thus diminished and the proton is said to be shielded and the absorption said to be upfilled. As you have seen in the diagram, if the induced magnetic field reinforced the applied magnetic field, then the field felt by the proton is augmented and the proton is said to be deshielded and the absorption is known as downfield. Compare with naked proton, a shielded proton required higher applied field strength than the deshielded protons. Shifts in the position of NMR absorption arising from shielding and deshielding by electron due to different chemical environments around proton are called chemical shift. Generally, chemical shift measured from the signal reference standards such as TMS. The extent of shielding is represented in terms of shielding parameter alpha. When the absorption occurs, the field H felt by the proton is represented as H is equal to H0 1 minus alpha, where H0 applied field strength. Greater value of alpha, greater will be the value of applied strength which has to be applied to get the effective field required for absorption and vice versa. If we put the value of H here, nu is equal to gamma H by 2 pi, we will get nu is equal to gamma H0 1 minus alpha by 2 pi. It is clear that the proton with different electronic environments or with shielding parameter can be brought into resonance in two ways. The strength of the external field is kept steady and the radio frequency is constantly varied, or the radio frequency is kept steady and strength of the applied field is constantly varied. Clearly, at constant radio frequency, shielding shifts the absorption of field in the molecules where there is a spherical distribution of electrons around the proton. It is called positive shielding. Now, from the diagram you can see this is methanol and this is the reference peak, and this proton is less shielded because oxygen is here. It will draft the electron density towards itself. So around the proton there is less electron, so it is less shielded, that is it appears at downfield, and the other protons are more shielded, they are appeared at higher field. It is called upfield shifting. Now the reference standards have some characteristic. They should be chemically inert, magnetically neutral, giving single sharp peak, easily recognizable peak, and miscible with wide range of solvents, and volatility to facilitate the recovery from valuable samples. And all these criteria meet with TMS, that is tetramethylsilane. It is generally used as internal standard for measuring the position of proton 13C29 silicon in enamel. TMS at 0.5% concentration is used normally. TMS has 12 protons which are uniformly shielded because of highly electropositive nature of silicon at center. Here these 12 protons give single sharp peak at 0 delta, which require maximum magnetic field than protons of the most organic compounds. It is chemically inert and miscible with large range of solvents, highly volatile and easily removed to get back the sample. This is the structure of TMS. It does not take part in intermolecular association with the sample. Its all protons are magnetically equivalent. So TMS can be used as an external reference. Here is another compound, sodium salts of 3-trimethylsilyl propane sulfonate. Sometimes it is used in case of water soluble compound. It is also used as an internal standard for running PMR spectra of water soluble substances in deuterium oxide solvent. Now, what is chemical shift? Chemical shift is the difference between the absorption position of the sample proton and the absorption position of the reference standard. This is the reference TMS and this is the difference of absorption position of the sample. So it is called chemical shift. Variations of the position of NMR absorptions due to the electronic shielding and deshielding. Now chemical shifts is measured in parts per million, that is ppm. It is the ratio of the shift downfield from TMS hertz to total spectrometer frequency in megahertz. The chemical shift is independent of the operating frequency of the spectrophotometer because it is a ratio. So, same value for 60, 100 or 300 megahertz machine, it doesn't matter. Common scale used is delta scale. Measurement of chemical shift. Each proton in a molecule has slightly different chemical environment, we know that, and consequently has a slightly different amount of electronic shielding, which results in a slightly different resonance frequency. These differences in resonance frequency are very small. So, for example, the difference between the resonance frequencies of the protons in chloromethane and in fluoromethane is only 60 megahertz when the applied field is 1.41 Tesla. Since the radiation used to induce proton spin transitions at the magnetic field strength is of a frequency near 60 megahertz, the difference between chloromethane and fluoromethane represents a change in frequency of only slightly, not more than 1 part per million. It is very difficult to measure the exact resonance frequencies to that precision. Hence, instead of measurement of the exact radio frequency of any proton, a reference compound is placed in the solution of the substance to be measured, and the resonance frequency of each proton in the sample is measured relative to the resonance frequency of the protons of the substance. That is our reference one. Here is the mathematical relationship. The standard reference substance used universally is tetramethylsilane, that is TMS. We have learned it a previous slide. The standard reference is also known as internal standard. So chemical shift ppm expressed as delta is the shift from TMS in hertz by spectrometer frequency in megahertz into 10 to the power 6. For example, for CH3Br protons, chemical shift from TMS 162 Hz in a 60 MHz instrument and 270 Hz in a 100 MHz instrument. So calculate delta value as it is irrespective of the strength of the spectrophotometer used. So if we ratio that to digit, that is 162 by 60 megahertz or 270 by 100 megahertz machine, we will get 2.7 in each case. Hence delta value remains same irrespective of the spectrophotometer. Now chemical shift is measured in general three major ways. It is in delta, sometimes tau, or sometimes hertz. If we consider the scale, in case of delta, it starts from 0 to in an increasing way up to 10, 12, etc. In case of tau scale, it starts from higher, that is from 10 to in a decreasing manner, and in case of hertz, it starts from 100 to 1000 hertz. This is the scale. Here it is TMS. In case of delta, start from 0 to up to 600 hertz. It is divided into 10 digits and starts from 0 to 10. In case of 300 megahertz, it is for 60 megahertz, it is for 300 megahertz machine. It is also divided into 1 to 10. Each delta unit is 1 ppm parts per million difference from the TMS 60 Hz or 300 Hz. This is a chart for different types of proton chemical shift values. Here the acid, it has the shift values up to above 10 delta. In case of alkanes, it's nearly 0. Now the basic concepts we have learned so far, it is that the chemical shift or position of line in NMR spectrum gives information on molecular environment of the nuclei from which it arises. How it is surrounded, how many electrons and other groups, whether it is electron withdrawing or electron donating, it's like that. The chemical shift of nuclei in different molecules are similar if the molecular magnetic environment are similar, provided. You have to remember, if the molecular magnetic environment are similar. The intensity of lines gives directly the relative number of magnetically active nuclei undergoing the different chemical shift. You have seen in our previous slide, it is for 1 proton and it is for 3 protons. So the intensity of the line will indicate the number of protons. The chemical shift is used for the identification of functional groups and as an aid in determining structural arrangement of groups. Greater is the deshielding of proton, higher will be the value of delta. Greater is the shielding of proton, lower will be the value of delta. So it is deshielded, we will get a higher value of delta. If it is shielded, then we will get a lower value of delta. Electron withdrawing substituents like halogens which deshielded the protons, electron releasing substituents like alkyl group shielded the protons. The delta unit is independent of shield strength. Chemical shift positions measured in the Hertz are field dependent. So thank you for watching.